Greetings, dear travelers. Before we get into the season's finale, we want to take a moment to thank you for listening. Sean and I will always be amazed by the number of travelers we have supporting the show from around the world. The Morbid Forest is a passion project, one we hope to keep going for as long as we can, and it is with the support of each and every one of you that makes it happen. We want to give a shout out to a few special travelers who have contributed to helping us keep the lights on. So thank you to Jessica De La Torres, the creators of Maltopia,
Pat Shans, Sean Methot,
Byron Veerling, Josh Burgess,
David Turvaville, Brad Estridge.
Thank you to Damika Gaddy and Sarah Chartalomna for supporting the Morbid Forest podcast.
AJ Fidalgo, D.H. Parrish,
Nashua Horn, Claire Lang,
Donnie Tyndall, and Audrey Feltner. The last episode today is a continuation story of Season 4's finale, The Protector. We asked, and you guys demanded more of your favorite ranger. This has been a long time coming, and I hope this story is just the start of expanding Ranger Harper's universe. And with that, let's get into the Morbid Forest Season 6 finale, Origins. This podcast contains adult content and themes. For a full list of our content warnings, please see our show notes. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome, my dear travelers, to the Morbid Forest. Have a seat. I'm sure you're tired after... How long have you been out there wandering the woods?
Long enough. I didn't start here, though. When I died, I woke up somewhere else. Seems like I took a wrong turn on my way to my afterlife.
I don't understand how. You've been dead for what? 10 years?
Could be right. Time, as you know, moves unrestricted on the other side.
True. So, are we going to talk about why you're here? Or the fact you failed to tell me about what my job really was back in Prophet River? What? Yes, I have.
You understand that thing?
You can't hear him?
Don't answer my question with a question, smartass. It's a spider. A mutated one at that. How in the hell am I supposed to understand it?
Shh, quiet. And don't be rude. It's been a long journey for him.
What did it say?
You really want to know?
It keeps chittering. Obviously, it wants us to know something.
Larry said if you keep calling him an it, he'll shove his itsy bitsies so far up your nose, he'll be able to scramble your tiny brain.
Well, excuse me.
Come on, Thompson. Even beings from other realms don't like being misgendered.
All right. I'm not going to go around offending your Larry. What was he saying before threatening me?
Yes. He said I never told him I was from Prophet River. Which, come to think of it, I think you're right. Honestly, The day I woke up here, I didn't remember how I got here. It was all a jumbled mess of flashing images and pain. Lots and lots of pain.
Interesting. Not something I experienced. Perhaps it's a symptom of this place. A way for you to take on your new role more easily. But you remember now?
Yeah. It's like you being here is lifting the fog on my memory. As if having just a scrap of my past is enough to give me a small piece of humanity back.
I doubt you've lost your humanity, Harper. Tucked away? Possibly. Hardened by the duty you hold, but never fully gone.
Thompson, the things I've done, the things I've had to do here, I don't think anyone can keep their humanity after. I didn't lose it all of a sudden. More like a gradual descent into the morally ambiguous.
Well, I don't think I'm going anywhere soon. If I'm here, then something is wrong. Could be the powers that be see it fit to give you a hand. With what? I have no clue.
I wonder. You're distracting me. We're supposed to be talking about you. About the choices you made when you were alive that got us both here.
Harper, I'm truly sorry. I thought I was protecting you
By hiding things from me?
by easing you into the truth.
And look where that got us.
Not every road in life is a smooth one. Sometimes, we are meant for more than what the living world can offer. Tell me what happened, Harper. When you're finished, I'll tell you everything you want to know.
Et tu, Brute?
If not for me, do it for your spider friend. Seems he wants you to know the story too.
I really don't enjoy being ganged up on. Fine. I suppose I'll tell you about my origins. There was a half-eaten sandwich on the desk. My throat swells with unspoken words as the sandwich and I stare each other down. Only 12 hours have passed since everything. Somehow, the space I stepped into already feels worn by time. A discarded book sits with its spine pointing at the ceiling next to the plate. A bookmark lying forgotten just next to it. A couch is pushed against the far wall, a rumpled blanket leaning onto the floor. A few embers burn with quiet judgment inside the small wood-burning stove. Strobe lights of memories blind my brain, forcing my eyes shut.
Harper, do you copy?
My feet pound against the floor before I register the plate in my hand. The offending sandwich flies across the room, its face smashing into the wall. White bread and ham slide down the wall as I pant, my rage not satisfied. So I don't stop. I swipe the calendar and a mug full of pens off the desk with a battle cry. Porcelain and pens scatter, a few rolling under the desk to cower.
Harper, do you copy?
He dropped everything. For what? Unknown documents and maps are my victims next. Ribbons of typography flutter around me as I scream and grunt.
Harper, do you copy?
All for him to sacrifice himself. Why? We both could have made it.
Harper, do you copy?
We both could have made it.
Ranger Harper?
I snap around, finding a sheepish officer standing in the doorway of Ranger Thompson's cabin.
The sheriff is here. Says he, wants to have a word when you're done.
His eyes travel from the sandwich to the pieces of map on the floor, then back to me. Pity coats his eyes, propelling me forward. I don't have time for pity. I want answers. Thanks. I'm sorry. What's your name, officer?
Hank Hanover.
Right. Thanks, Officer Hanover. The officer tips his head in a nod, not meeting my eyes, then ducks out of the cabin. I take a moment to collect myself and survey the damage. The interior of the cabin looks like a bomb detonated within its walls. A smear of mustard trails down the wall, and I cringe in embarrassment. Keep it together, Harper. Just keep it together. Sunlight blinds me as I step outside, making me tip my ranger hat forward to block the offensive rays. Around me, the forest is alive with its midday sounds. The arboreal cacophony triggers a gut-emptying sadness. Betrayal washes over me, but the notion is stupid. How could a person be pissed off at Mother Nature when all she was doing was existing, as she always has? My feet are heavy as I climb down the steps to meet Sheriff Bradshaw. He's a stout man with a poorly groomed mustache. Wiry salt and pepper hair poke into his lip and cheeks, and the corner of his aviators are smudged with what I can only assume is some form of fast food grease. A manila folder is tucked against the pit stain of his faded uniform shirt, and I pray to whatever is out there that is still listening isn't for me.
Greetings to you, Ranger Harper.
Sheriff?
Sorry we're meeting for the first time like this. Cal was supposed to bring you by at some point. Timing never worked out.
Cal? The sheriff raises a disheveled eyebrow over his glasses at me.
Calvin was Thompson's first name. Cal to some, Thompson to most.
The man gives me an assessing look through his dirty glasses that says, I guess you were part of the most crowd. Under other circumstances, I may have shrunk away from such scrutiny, but with nerves warring between guilt and grief, my body doesn't sway. I just stare back, waiting for the sheriff to reveal his business. After another beat, the man sighs heavily and peels the manila envelope from its sweaty holster.
If anything would have happened to Cal, I was under strict orders to give this to his successor.
My arms remain at my side, unwilling to take the responsibility Bradshaw is silently asking me to step into. This isn't some last will and testament shit, is it? I'm not taking over for the family business or some other mafia-type situation. This is just a forestry job. Why all the smoke and mirrors? To Bradshaw's credit, his arm remains raised, hand still presenting me with the envelope. He takes a step closer, and I instantly back up, then regret it. It's just an envelope, Harper. No need to be such a chicken shit over it.
As you know, Ranger Harper, we do things a little differently around here. Our forestry team is highly regarded, even more so than my role for the town, which now I'm realizing Cal didn't stress enough to you.
Oh, hold on. You aren't making any sense. Bradshaw shakes his head. a heavy weight of sadness sagging his shoulders a fraction.
So many have come before you. Cal has had countless partners. For reasons only he knows, he treated you differently.
My brows knit in confusion, and I want to ask why, but Bradshaw barrels forward.
Maybe he saw something in you. Maybe he was trying to protect you. Maybe he was trying out a new method for onboarding. Either way, he was a good man, but a damn fool to not even consider. Never mind. Take the letter, Ranger Harper.
The sheriff thrust the envelope into my chest, pushing me back a step.
Or should I say, Chief Harper.
Wait, what?
Have a good day, Harper.
The lawman turns on his heels, walking back to his patrol truck, leaving me sputtering and brimming with more confusion. The wood chair at Thompson's, Cal's, desk creaks under my settling weight. I slap the offensive envelope on his desk with a glare, steepling my fingers. All of this was too surreal. It's all just too much. Part of me just wants to leave, pack my truck up, and leave this town in the rear view. However, the responsible ranger, the ranger who wants to uncover the mysteries buried in these woods, refuses to budge. She will not allow Thompson's death to mean nothing. My hand slaps down on the envelope, dragging it toward me to reveal Ranger Thompson's last words. The cabin walls press inward to peer over my shoulder as I pull out a single sheet of paper. Tears well in the corners of my eyes at Thompson's messy scribbles. With a deep inhale, I begin to read.
If you're reading this, then I have been officially retired. I knew this day would come. Not gonna whine and say I want more time. Everybody's time comes eventually. It was just my time to punch out. I do, however, wish there was more time to explain the situation at hand. You've walked into a real shitstorm, Harper. For that, I am sorry. To be frank with you, I don't have much to pass on aside from the job as Chief Ranger. I lost everything before taking my position nearly 30 years ago. Twice divorced, no kids, on the brink of bankruptcy, I had little prospects. Except for this cursed town. That's what they look for. Someone to little with no ties to the world outside the forest. An expendable asset if you want to call a spade a spade. I want you to know, I didn't look at you as expendable. A pain in my ass? Yes. A Yankee with her head in the clouds? But I think it's what this town needs. Someone to look outside the box. I understand none of this is making sense. I thought I had more time to explain to you what our actual job entails. I was protecting you from the harsh reality of our condemned truth. I thought by easing you in slowly would work in our favor. A different tactic than I've taken in the past, for whatever good it's done. You'll need to talk with the town. I don't want you to say much because knowing you won't believe anything and try to find your own justifications. Trust me, you won't find any. Everything happening here is real, and it's your job to manage it. Remember the rules. I wish you luck and hope you find yourself a damn good second in command to watch your back. You'll need it. Calvin Thompson.
The sun hangs just below the trees by the time I can move again. Thompson answered none of my questions, only left me more confused and frustrated, like only he can. His last middle finger to the world was to be a cryptic bastard. I contemplate leaving for my own cabin. However, the fading light and Thompson's rules make me reconsider. I swivel the chair to stand, sending my knee crashing into the edge of the desk. Wood groans with me as I curse and double over. I'm 2 seconds from kicking the ancient junk when I look up to find my knee bumped to the top drawer, slightly open.
You'll find your answers in my cabin, top drawer of my desk. Protect this forest with your life, Ranger. Do you understand me?
Stupid Harper. In the confusion and mayhem caused by Thompson's death, my mind buried the one piece of information vital to my search for answers. My hand shakes as I open the drawer wider. A leather-bound book sits inside the desk drawer. There is nothing else. I hesitate, fingers hovering over the worn book. Part of me wants to leave it there. I'm not ready to read whatever is inside. Instead, I shove the drawer closed and move around the cabin, cleaning up my mess and hunkering down for the night. By the time I'm done sweeping and closing the blackout curtains, night has fallen onto the forest. The fire in the tiny wood oven is the only sound aside from the buzzing thoughts in my head. But I can't solve anything in this state. Tomorrow I'll look for answers. I curl into Thompson's old blanket, sinking into the well-worn couch. A small spider hangs on the rafters in the opposite corner. He isn't very big, but all 8 of his eyes take me in, assessing. Don't judge me. I cleaned up the mess. The spider rubs his pedipalps together, as if dusting the excuse of my actions away. Dust leaks from the ceiling as I scream, scrambling backward on the couch. The spider disappears into the shadows, its web swaying as it runs.
Fucking coward!
Another bang rocks the cabin. My breaths come in panic as I rise to my feet, looking around the small space for a weapon. Is the door going to hold? It groans weakly with each pound, but the hinges don't waver. I tear open the drawers of the desk. I find nothing until the last drawer because, of course, it is the last one. A revolver slides into view and I yank it up, hand shaking as I cock back the hammer. The banging stops. A full minute passes. Only my heavy pants fill the air. And slowly, I move around the desk, positioning myself in front of the door. Every step brings me closer to danger, but my nerves settle with each one as well. Is this the thing that killed Thompson? And now it's back for me? Rage steadies me. Without thinking, I yank the door open. Cool night air and the abrasive sound of crickets greet me. I deflate as the forest returns to normal in front of my eyes. But I'm not fooled. An unsettling itch skitters across my skin, and I know I'm being watched. Good. Let it see the face of the person who will make it pay for its crimes. I will not let Thompson's sacrifice go unanswered. I step back into the cabin. As I move to close the door, my eyes land on the damage. Tiny splinters streak across the surface of the door's face, revealing a metal skeleton underneath. What the fuck was Thompson trying to keep out that required a metal door? I twisted my seat for the millionth time as I bumped down the old mountain road and into town the following afternoon. After my little late-night visitor left, I spent the night sleeping against the desk, gun in hand. A dangerous move on my part, but I was too freaked out to worry about shooting myself when something was outside, stalking me. Thompson didn't give me much to go on, but he said start with the town. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. With his letter tucked in my pocket, my tires finally glide onto paved cement, entering Prophet River. Crossing into town feels slightly taboo. Thompson got me everything I needed for my section of forest. I really only traveled once into town, which was with him. Luckily, there's no traffic in this sleepy town. Not even a tumbleweed rolls by as I drive down Main Street, parking my truck outside the Moose Knuckle. I step out, slamming my door to stare up at the fading sign. I barely remember the outside of the bar from my last visit. However, with the main part of Prophet River being only 5 blocks long, one can only assume this is the only drinking establishment within the county. As my boots carry me under the faded sign through the paint-cracked door, I can't help but notice the subtle stares from a few townsfolk walking down the sidewalk. News travels fast, I suppose. Inside the dimly lit bar, the gawking persists. Heads swivel in my direction, a mix of pity, sympathy, and judgmental neutrality greet me. My face breaks into a smile nonetheless, as I spot 2 familiar faces turned in my direction. I beeline for them, shocking both as they look around as if asking the other patrons for help. Small towns may be nosy, but on the other side of the coin, they mind their business. Do you gentlemen live here, or just occasional fixtures? Bradley, I think, chuckles at my joke while his partner, Walter, if I remember correctly, frowns and sips his beer.
Ain't much else to do around these parts. Besides, the beer is good and Colette always takes care of us.
Yep.
Walter affirms, still not looking in my direction. Mind if I sit with you boys a moment? I don't allow them to refuse, removing my ranger hat as I slide into the bar stool next to Bradley. He seems the friendlier out of the two.
Please, but I have to warn you, we ain't much of conversationalists.
Well, I'm sure that could change at the drop of a hat. Or perhaps at the next round, which is on me. I flag Colette down, not allowing either man a moment to argue. All the while, my smile remains locked in place. Their eyes bounce between me and each other, assessing the situation. But small town niceties stop them from getting up and just walking away. Interesting you say you aren't much of a conversationalist. I'd say you were the last time we spoke. I dip my chin in thanks to Colette as 3 beers slide down the bar, their foam leaving a hoppy trail on the red oak.
Well, he ain't gonna ignore you. Besides, Cal said...
It's all right. Bradley shudders to a stop over Thompson's name. Seriously, did he let everyone but me call him Cal? Thompson is the reason I wanted to talk to you both. The men exchange a look, but say nothing, allowing me to press forward. He said I needed to talk to the town to find out more information about what exactly I've gotten myself into. And since you're the only 2 I know,
Not our business to tell, Chief Harper.
Walter finally pipes up, eyes staring straight as if looking at me is taboo. And how do you know I'm chief now?
Small town, full of Olympic gossips.
Walter replies after a moment of hesitation.
If you call town hall meetings gossip sessions.
Walter elbows Bradley in the side hard enough to make the man choke on his sip of beer. I let the two silently bicker, my victory smile hiding against my pint. I knew coming here to see them was a good idea. What exactly is discussed at these town meetings? Local politics? Community complaints about arbitrary fence lines? My voice is calm, mixed with harmless curiosity, grabbing the men's attention. Now, why on earth would Thompson not tell me about that? Nothing wrong with a front row seat to some he said, she said gossip. Could be quite entertaining, especially after spending long days on the mountain not talking to anyone except squirrels. The men paused to gape at me, each sputtering to reply, when a raspy female voice from behind has the three of us spinning in our bar stools.
Because Cal was an overprotective and controlling ass.
The newcomer wears a wide-brim brown cowboy hat, its shadow digging into the many dark hills of wrinkles lining her face. White blonde wavy hair threatens to topple the hat from her head at any moment. But I'm sure one stern eyebrow raise from this woman would have it thinking twice about even twitching. Right away, I could tell this was who I was searching for. The woman casually leans against the bar, her chin dipping in Colette's direction. There was nothing casual about her, though. The woman's entire demeanor radiates confidence and control.
Afternoon, Calysta. Have you met our new chief ranger yet?
Bradley smiles at Calysta, clearly relieved she's come along.
I have not had a chance to make Harper's acquaintance. Cal kept her tucked safely in the woods from us hillbilly townsfolk.
Callista's hard smile and tone tells me exactly how she feels about Thompson's decision to keep me away from town business. My hackles rise, but I keep my attitude in check. Thompson may have been a secretive bastard, but he must have had a good reason. Right? Well, I'm glad my reputation has made it down the mountain. Walter and Bradley were just filling me in on all the town lore I've been missing out on.
Were they now?
Both men cast their gazes downward onto the grimy bar. A feeling of protective anger sweeps over me, my mouth moving faster than my ingrained propriety. They were. Seems this town is full of some cloak and dagger bullshit. These two were willing to lift the veil for me. I appreciate their candor. No need for unwarranted bravado, you know? My honey-drenched smile makes the older woman chuckle bitterly. So much for keeping my attitude in check. She reads my insults clear as day, and they roll off her shoulder like a tumbleweed on I-15.
Walk with me, Chief Harper.
Harper is just fine. I'm not really one for formalities.
Harper it is. Boys, see you tonight.
The men nod respectfully at Calysta, then offer me apologetic smiles. I return theirs with a genuine one of my own, not willing to lose them as potential town allies. I have a feeling I'll need some. The afternoon sun temporarily blinds me as I step outside. I slap my hat into place, my eyes thankful as I focus my attention on Calysta. The older woman walks slowly toward my truck, not bothering to wait for me to catch up.
You like being a forest ranger, Harper?
Callista's question halts my steps, but only for a second before I regain my pace and join her at my truck. It's not what I thought I'd do with my life, but it does bring me a lot of joy.
And what did you think you were going to do with your life prior to this?
cosmetologist. But turns out I'm only good at dyeing my own hair and not other people's. Besides, who wants to be stuck inside all day when you have this to explore? I gesture at the mountain range in front of us. Something about being in the forest has always brought me peace. It felt natural to go into this field.
Nature does have a way of luring folks in. Has a habit of trapping them too, if they aren't too careful.
I look at her. She chuckles at the question on my face.
Harper, do you plan on staying on? Because I gotta be frank, we don't really have time to train another ranger. I want to know now if we need to look for your replacement.
Why do I feel like you're asking me to do more than what my job originally stated?
Because Cal never told you what it meant to be Prophet River's ranger. The damn fool.
And you're going to? Look, I trust Thompson's caution. He must have had his reasons.
Yeah, like I said, the man was a damn fool.
I doubt a fool would hire me, Calysta. I don't appreciate your tone in regards to Thompson. Look, if you have some crazy truth to tell me, I'm all ears. Otherwise, I have a forest to get back to. Apparently, I have to hire a new me as well. Calysta barks out a laugh. I've decided I don't like her.
Woo, doggy, the ball's on you, girl. No wonder Cal liked you. You see that building over there?
Calysta points a knobby finger behind me, and I turn. She points down the street, toward an enormous log cabin building in the distance.
Come to the town hall meeting tonight at the lodge. Meet the rest of the town, learn about our history, and hear their concerns. Then decide if you are going to stay on as our chief ranger. Meeting is at 6 p.m. sharp.
Calysta starts to walk away, then calls over her shoulder.
Oh, and Harper, try to keep an open mind.
For the second time in one day, I find myself bumping down the mountain into town. My meeting with Calysta replays on a loop in my mind. More secrets. But why? How many rangers has this town actually had? I took the afternoon to look into the history of employees before me. The results were grim and disturbing. Thompson's dusty file cabinet was filled to the brim with employee records. Countless hiring and termination dates, many close together, sending my concern skyrocketing. Including Thompson, 15 rangers have either died on duty or were reported missing on duty. And this was only in the last 2 years. On average, thousands of individuals go missing a year from national parks. It is extremely rare for a park ranger to be included among those numbers. Our training alone makes us more equipped to brave the forested elements. So, what makes the Northern Rocky Mountain Provincial Park hazardous to a park ranger's health? The question gnaws at me as I put my truck into park and head inside the lodge for the meeting. I take a moment to collect myself before heading inside. This day has been long and I'm exhausted, but my hunger for answers outweighs it. I wasn't sure what to expect, but it sure wasn't being the last person to the meeting. All eyes turn to me as I push open the doors to the large community meeting room and pause, startled. I check my watch, but it reads 5:50 p.m. Were they having a pre-meeting before I arrived?
Ah, Chief Harper. So happy you are joining us this evening. Please, Come have a seat here.
Calysta calls from the podium at the front of the room. I flash an awkward smile and wave. Why the fuck did I just wave? This isn't a Macy's Day parade. Eyes track me as my boots stomp down the carpet toward the front of the room. Calysta is no longer wearing her white cowboy hat and has pulled her wavy hair into a low ponytail. Her Canadian tuxedo would look ridiculous on anyone else, but somehow, Calysta makes it look like a mountain power suit.
Before we get into the matter of tonight's meeting, I feel it prudent to recount a bit of our town's history for our new Chief Ranger.
Groans rise up like turbulent waves, but Calysta waves a hand, quickly dismissing the possible typhoon.
Y'all know as well as I do she'll need the history if she's going to do the job. Cal, may he rest, failed to prepare her for the task at hand. However, Cal was our longest standing Chief Ranger and he knew how to pick good rangers. Every last individual under his care lasted longer than anyone we've ever had. Hell, we actually were able to hold a few retirement parties. I trust Cal knew what he was doing when he picked Harper here. You should as well.
A blanket of somber submissions drifts over the crowd at Calysta's words. From the light research I conducted earlier, she isn't wrong about a few rangers retiring over recent years. But it only raises the question, why didn't Thompson retire? He wasn't a spring chicken, and a few of those retirement forms stated the retirees weren't even close to the standard age of retirement. Was this forestry job so hard and the pension so good, people retired at a staggering young age? I chew my lip as Calysta takes a breath to begin her history lesson.
By the way you came in, Harper, I'm sure you missed the hallway of photos lining the hallway outside. Like any government building, our walls are lined with photographs of officials who are long since dead. However, there is only one picture outside worth any salt. It's also the moment we were damned. In 1899, Joseph DuPont, acting under the guidance of the Crown, signed Treaty 8 with Chief Kinusheyu, which included 840,000 kilometers of forested land. Originally, this region was deemed unnecessary and ill-hospitable. If I had a dime for every time I agreed with an aristocratic dickhead, well, I'd still be poor as dirt. The Crown was greedy, and once they heard whispers of value in these parts, well, the deal was struck. Ink wasn't even dry before the Danesy tribe cleared out of here, leaving only our settlers and the devils they were running from.
I scrunch my nose at the word devils, while Calysta prowls the stage like an agitated beast. The town before us hangs on her every word. Some cast their gazes downward, dejection written in their tired eyes. I notice a few, however, clench their fists in silent rage. But at what? Or at who? The natives in Calysta's story? I swear, the woman must be attuned to my internal monologue, because she answers my question with a sad but resigned smile.
I confidently can speak for all of us present. We do not blame the tribe for leaving our ancestors with this cursed land. The chief was only looking out for his people. We cannot fault his quick thinking in using the treaty to release his people from the burden of this land. Over the years, a few elders have helped us here and there. However, most refuse to cross the borders, afraid their fate will be sealed like the rest of ours.
What does that even mean? Do you really think you're trapped here? I look around the room, hoping to see a few laughing faces at my absurd question. But I find none.
Do you know when the first ranger was inaugurated into the role?
I'm thrown off by the question. My mind tries to do the math on when the park was officially founded and when the first park employees were put into place. Calysta lets me flounder for a full minute before answering her own question.
1934. Yes. By the look on your face, that was years. 52 to be exact, before the park was founded. 35 years after the signing of Treaty 8, 35 years of constant slaughter. The first year after the treaty nearly wiped out all the settlers. But we are a stubborn lot.
I don't understand. Why didn't they just leave? And wait, can we go back? What was killing them?
They couldn't. Just like you can't, Harper. Once you crossed our borders and agreed to live here, the magic embedded into the land bound you to it. I really wish Cal were here so I could whoop his behind for not showing you the fine print.
Fine print? What is she even talking about? None of this makes a sense.
You are not just a park ranger, Harper. You see, after 35 years, the town realized they needed someone to be the cork in the dam. Someone willing to defend the town with their life. Our land sits on the mouth of another world. A world where terrible beasts live, and occasionally find their way into ours. And you, Harper, are its gatekeeper.
I kick the door of Thompson's cabin open, letting out a feral scream of frustration. Trapped? Yeah, nice try. The last of the day's light was only a blink away from disappearing into the night sky as I paced inside the cabin. Callista's history lesson spun on a wheel inside my mind. She had the entire town spellbound with her little story. But I drew the line at mystical monsters and parallel worlds. Did Thompson really drink the Kool-Aid?
Fuck this.
I shake my head, slamming the door just as night fully settles over the mountain. Keep me here? I'd like to see that old biddy try. I snatch my duffel bag from the floor and start shoving my meager belongings inside. My original plan to stay inside Thompson's cabin and go through every document I can get my hands on flies out the window. I'm not staying in this twisted town one moment longer. My boots slam against the old wood as I cross back toward the door. When I pause, tiny embers cling to the charred logs in the wood stove oven. Thompson's words tickle my mind, reminding me to keep the fire burning. Only thing I'll be burning is rubber to get the hell out of Dodge. With a smirk, I grab the half-filled coffee mug from the desk and splash it on the fire. My shit-eating smile is still in place as I set the mug down, right next to Thompson's leather-bound journal. In my frustration and eagerness to leave, I completely forgot about it. Earlier, when I was rifling through employee documents, I placed it on the desk. A little reminder for myself to read it when I returned from the town meeting. Part of me wants to leave the damn thing behind, but I'm a sentimental bitch. Sighing, I swipe it from the desk and throw it in my duffel bag and head to the door. Cool spring air greets me as I fling the cabin door open. I'm about to step off the porch when I stop. Unease scratches at my primal brain as silence envelops me. I feel eyes on me, but I can't explain why. You're just being paranoid, Harper. Fucking Calysta and her ghost stories got to you. Still, my feet don't move as I scan the shadows of the trees. A twig snaps to my left and I spin, my duffel bag dropping to the floor. My heart pounds against my chest. It's nothing. Just a deer. Something darts in my peripheral, snapping my attention forward. The dark shadows of the trees lean in toward the cabin, and I take my first step back. Then, something else leans out from the trees. My mind shatters, my brain unwilling to compute what it's seeing. The creature steps closer, its sharp fangs dripping with a black substance. Blood? My mind helpfully supplies. I spin to run back into the cabin, immediately tripping over my duffel bag. I land hard on my face, cracking my skull against the wood. Hooves pound behind me, racing to catch me while I'm down. For once, I follow Thompson's advice. I don't look back as I shove my duffel through the door and roll inside. With a scream, I slam the door closed. A heavy thud slams into the door face, the entire cabin shaking from the force of the thing. Just what the fuck even was that? Glass shatters to my left as the creature smashes the window. Fuck! Fucking curtains! I curse Thompson and my stupidity at not following his rules. Another roar shakes the walls, sending me to my feet to shut the curtain on the other window. Desperate hands grab air, trying to snatch me and drag me outside. I don't look as I skid to a stop at the window, yanking at the curtains. Hooves stomp against the porch as the beast moves toward my window. I manage to get the curtain closed, but not before an antler smashes the glass. Shards of glass fly toward me, my face going hot as pieces tear into my cheek. The beast roars in frustration, unable to fully see its target. Its head jerks, and I leap out of the way as an antler comes straight for my stomach. But I'm not fast enough to dodge the downswing. Pain lances across my shoulder as the deadly appendage rips into my flesh. I roll to the floor with a cry, my hand automatically going to my shoulder. The beast rages on, and I'm thankful its upper body is too large to squeeze through the window. But sure doesn't keep the fucker from trying. I flip onto my belly and crawl to Thompson's desk. Through gritted teeth, I yank open the bottom drawer of the desk and snatch the gun from its depth. At least I returned it to where I found it and didn't leave it in some random spot. I don't hesitate. I pull the trigger in rapid succession. My first 2 shots are wide, but my third hits its mark. The beast roars, rearing back away from the window. I don't count it down, though. I rush over to the wood stove and pull open the firebox door. There are a few logs that might still burn, and I take my chances. I send a silent thanks to Thompson for his over-preparedness. A bucket with strips of paper and other kindling sits next to the wood stove. My hands dig with fervor into the soggy ash, removing what I can from my earlier mistake. Ash and wet clumps of wood slap at the floor and my jeans. When I'm satisfied, I shove an unnecessary amount of kindling into the box before looking for a match. With a squeal, I find it and grab it. Just as my trembling fingers move to open the box, the beast slams into the front door. I jump, the box flying from my hands, matches scattering to the floor. Ugh! Go fuck yourself! I don't think the creature can understand me, but I don't care. I scan for a match and yank one from the floor. Orange light erupts in my hand on the first strike, and I toss it into the firebox. The paper catches instantly, and I fan it to help it along. By the time the fire is in full bloom, the sound of the forest has returned. I slump on the floor, my injuries finally taking a toll. Just what the fuck have you gotten yourself into, Harper? For the second time in 2 days, I find myself staring at Thompson's cabin door. More steel is exposed, dented in a few spots, but otherwise intact. I send a prayer up to whoever is listening in thanks. I shiver, thinking about what could have happened if the door failed. The windows, however, are another matter. Both front-facing windows are shattered, with large sections of wood paneling missing. The curtain rod of one is somehow protruding from the socket of the window, tattered fabric dancing in the soft breeze of the morning. I can't stay at Thompson's cabin. My feet hesitate to take me to my truck, but I need a little bit of normalcy to round out all the crazy shit bombarding my life. I sigh, hoisting my duffel bag higher on my shoulder, heading to my truck. I pat the side of the bag, knowing what I'll find, but I need to make sure. The smooth outline of Thompson's journal presses into my hand. It's finally time to go through it and see what I can learn about this place. My shoulder hurts like a son of a bitch as I bump down the mountain toward the visitor center. I was able to wrap it and clean it this morning, but I need to go into town for a few more supplies later. My cheek looks like someone took a cheese grater to it. At least all the slices were clean, with no hidden tiny shards of glass. Besides, the pain reminds me of what I survived and how close I came to death. I need the reminder. Call it scared straight, but last night put my fragile mortality at the forefront of my mind. If I had just listened to Thompson and the town, maybe I would have been better off. I shake my head as I pull into the ranger booth. Who am I kidding? There is no scenario where I would have believed them. I had to see it with my own eyes. Call it a stupid risk. But no one ever said winning stupid prizes from playing stupid games couldn't be enlightening. I keep this sentiment in mind as I check the parking lot payment box. I move slowly across the lot, waving occasionally to a few early morning hikers. They wave back, questions clear on their faces at my battered appearance. I'm sure I'll be the talk of the town by the end of the day. I don't take offense. I'd gossip too if I saw the new town chief ranger limping with a bum shoulder and a Freddy Cougar face. I open the visitor center, breathing in the old dust and stale air. By noon, the visitor center is aired out, all cobwebs and dust bunnies now living in the dumpster out back. A few people came in for permits or trail maps. It was nice to be helpful again. By the time my truck made it back up the mountain to my cabin at 7 p.m., I was beat. However, a newfound determination was running through me. I needed the day to reset, to feel an ounce of normal. Now, I can face Thompson's journal. After dinner, I settle in my old couch with a blanket and the journal. The leather gleams in the firelight, its cracks and worn edges making it look like an ancient tome. I add another log on the fire, closing the face of the wood stove, then begin to read. The first few pages have my eyebrows furrowing until I realize the entries are made by previous rangers. I check the dates on the entries. From my count and knowledge of the employment history here, the ledger contains the writing of at least 5 chief rangers. There is a mixture of journal entries and sporadic notes on classifications of creatures I only thought were fairy tale. A plethora of drawings with names are scattered among the pages of the journal. Some I knew, like Bigfoot and the Nightcrawler. Others, like the Devil Monkey, left me cocking my head to the side in confusion. It wasn't until I came to the last page of the journal where I found an image that made me wish I had a bottle of whiskey on hand. And of course, the entry belonged to Thompson. The page requires me to fold out another sheet, which has been meticulously taped into the journal. My fingers tremble as I stare down at the charcoal eyes of the beast who tried to kill me last night. A mutilated deer head with pitless orbs stares with malice from the brown page. Slivers of torn, decaying flesh cling to its canine-like muzzle. A shudder runs through me as I recall the black tar dripping from its mouth. Otherworldly blood, perhaps? Or maybe in the dark, my fear ramped up. It was just blood from its latest victim. Gargantuan antlers protrude from its head. My shoulder itches at the sight of each pointed bone on the creature's head. The rest of its body is no better. From the drawing, it would appear it is almost the height of some of our trees. Its body is covered in black fur, although the creature's ribs wrap around its chest like a protective cage. Tree trunk legs bend at an awkward angle, leading down to the hooves I noticed. The oddest thing is instead of hooves on its upper appendages, it has hands like a human. However, I wouldn't really define the elongated fingers with razor claws as hands per se. More like meaty death mittens. At the very bottom of the page is Thompson's chicken scratch handwriting. Wendigo. I take a few minutes to allow my heart to de-escalate. The sight of this Wendigo has me wanting to run for the hills again, to get as far away from here as possible. But I know that isn't an option, even if I wanted to anymore. I flip the page, finding Thompson's final journal entry. Fuck. I really wish I had some damn whiskey. I sigh and read my old boss's last words.
I have a feeling this bastard's gonna do me in. Was I wrong for not telling her? For not warning her about what this job actually means? Your life for the many. There are too many selfish people in the world these days. Too many con artists and fakers. But Harper, from the moment I met her in her interview, I knew she wasn't one of them. There was a wonder still in her, a drive to help others. As annoying as I find her incessant gumption, I admire her constant tenacity. She is more than just bubblegum pink hair, it would seem. It pains me how much I've kept her in the dark. But I needed her to fall in love with this place. Needed her to care about the people who chose to stay on this cursed land. To fall in love with the good old days on the mountain when the bad ones are rampant with undertakers. Because the world needs more protectors. More people willing to push back against the creatures who cross into our world looking to cause chaos. I saw it last night as I was leaving her cabin. I've only come across scarce tellings of wendigos crossing the gate. Vicious things with an insatiable appetite for human flesh. Most creatures who cross through the gate are fairly harmless. Sure, they want to hunt, but with a little nudge, you can get them to cross back over into whatever hell realm they call home. Sometimes just the fire in the cabins is enough to send them retreating. But the Wendigo doesn't want to leave. And if it decides to go into town to hunt, well, we'll have more trouble on our hands. We haven't had an accident like that in 3 decades. Maybe I'll talk to her tomorrow about it. Maybe it's time.
The entry ends there. An incomplete thought hanging on the edge of the page. I sit back on the couch, mind spinning. Damn it, Thompson just... God damn it. Oh, son of a... Ah! The wheel jerks in my hand, rocking the cab on my truck as I bounce down the road and onto Thompson's drive. Coffee scorches the skin of my hand, and I swear the droplets on my jeans may just melt holes to the waiting skin underneath. After last night, I need caffeine. But fuck me, did I need to make it so hot? I slap with pathetic enthusiasm at my jeans, eyes not fully on the road as I make the last turn in the winding bend. Movement catches my eyes, snapping my attention back to the road. The sound of gravel kicking into my rear wheel wells splits the early morning as I skid to a stop in front of Thompson's cabin. A police car and 2 old pickup trucks are parked to the side of the building. Walter stands, well, more like cowers, at the hood of my truck. The toolbox he was carrying lies in the dirt, contents spilled around him. Oh, fuck. Holy shit, are you all right, Walter? I jump from the cab, hurrying to the recovering man.
Yeah.
Well, glad to see I didn't rattle you too badly. I pat the older man on the back, then bend and start gathering his tools.
Nice to see you finally join us.
I look up, catching sight of Calysta, making her way down the cabin steps. Sheriff Bradshaw, Officer Hanover, and Bradley hot on her heels. What are you doing here?
Well, what does it look like, darling? We ain't come all this way for milk and cookies. Heard you had some trouble, so decided to be neighborly. The boys here are handy when they aren't warming the seats at the knuckle, and I suppose us government ilk has to stick together. Don't stand there like a trout, Harper. There's plenty of work to be done before the sun sets. Looks like you got a real nasty bugger stalking you.
I close my gaping mouth, following the group toward the wrecked cabin. Once the steps come into view, I'm shocked at the amount of progress the group has already made. Broken boards which once sprinkled the porch lay in a pile next to the wood chopping station. All the glass has been cleared, and a new door leans against the far side of the cabin. My heart warms with their act of kindness. While, from the outside, it appears the ranger's position is a solitary one. But it's not. The town cares for the ranger, just as we watch over them. I don't know what I was expecting the residents of Prophet River to be like, but this is more than I can process. Funny how a few days ago, I was tossing clothes into a duffel, ready to put this whole mess behind me. Now, the thought of abandoning them leaves me feeling queasy. I don't know when I started falling for this place, but I know who started it. I fight the tears threatening to spill down my cheeks, instead choosing to poke fun at the group. So, what time did you get here? First light?
Basically. Calysta called us last night, told us you had some trouble. Figured it was a doozy by the way the town has been talking.
Hank informs me, rubbing the back of his neck. Yeah, well, Fucker really didn't like the no soliciting sign I had up. Some people, they just can't take it when you say no. That earns me a laugh out of the young officer, before Calysta catches him not working.
What did I tell you? Finish chopping up these broken pieces for kindling. We're going to need your help getting this door off.
Hank darts away at Callista's command. The others already working on various repairs. And what task do you have for me? The older woman turns, eyes grazing over my injuries.
You seen Cal's file cabinet, right?
The one with all the employee records?
Well, looks like now is a good time to start reading up on previous rangers and their encounters.
My mind drifts to the journal Thompson left me. Are there more? Just like it?
Don't look so surprised. How else do you think we've passed along all the information needed for the job? Now, go on. Me and the boys will handle the repairs. You get to learning about this place.
I want to argue with her. However, my tired and bruised limbs scream in protest. Besides, I can't say my curiosity isn't piqued. So, I leave the group to it, heading inside to find out more about what has wandered through the gate into our woods. The sun is close to setting as the men screw in the final bolt for the new steel door of the cabin. In just a day, the team has returned this place to almost brand new. I gawk at their work, running my hands over the finished pane of the window.
Care to join us at the knuckle, Harper? A day like ours deserves a liquid reward.
Bradley waggles his blonde brows at me, grinning from ear to ear. A cold beer is tempting.
I bet Colette will have some waiting for us up at the bar top. Would be rude not to go.
Walter adds.
If you insist on going to the Moose Knuckle tonight, I'll have to be your escort.
Hank calls from his cruiser.
Don't act all high and mighty, lawman. We were inviting you too.
Hank shakes his head at Walter, trying to hide his smile. The banter is nice. It's the last piece of normal I needed to feel reset.
If you're joining us at the Knuckle, mind if I ride with you?
Calysta asks. Had enough testosterone for one day?
No, but those boys stink like farm pigs, and I have no desire to ride down the mountains selling that shit.
I laugh, walking around to my side of the truck and hopping in. One by one, we peel out of the driveway and slowly make our descent down the mountain. Calysta is quiet for the first half of the drive, which I don't mind. My thoughts are still on the pages I read this afternoon. Hundreds of first-hand accounts fill my brain with images of creatures of folklore. I'm so engrossed in my musings, I almost don't hear Calysta asking me to take a turn off the main road. I oblige, guiding the truck away from the group. Where are we going?
You'll see, Harper.
Callista's eyes remain ahead, not giving me an inch. I sigh, not willing to push her. Instead, I focus on the increasing number of trees as they close in on the truck. The road grows more unstable the longer we drive. After 20 minutes, I'm ready to pull over and give my stomach a break when Calysta instructs me to pull off the road. I guide the truck into a small turnabout and kill the engine. No sooner are my keys out of the ignition, it's Calysta out of the truck and walking into the forest. I scramble from the cab, jogging to catch up. Hey, planning on burying me out in the woods? Who knows? Maybe the key to keeping a ranger is staking them to this place.
Cal was right about you. You love to talk. Too busy talking to notice anything around you. Do you hear that?
I pause, holding in my sarcastic comment to take in the woods around us. Nothing greets us. The trees stand frozen around us as we pass, the normal song of the day missing from the world around us. Even the sound of our steps are swallowed by the earth beneath our feet. What is this place?
I'm sure a long time ago these woods had a name. Now, they are the edge of the world as we know it. The lip of the cliff before you swan dive over into the abyss of the other world.
A shiver dances across my skin at her words. I'm about to ask another question when the trees part ahead, halting me in my tracks. Towering before us is a sight unlike any I had ever seen. Gnarled trees cluster together, twining their limbs into a nest of slithering bark. Together they weave high above us, arching down to meet another set of tree limbs. As they reach for each other, they form a perfect oval. The energy the gate exudes is undeniable and terrifying. A slight hum tickles my ears, like a mosquito trying to land.
Rangers are targets, Harper, because they are in essence a conduit. One to help the town be ignored by the creature who crosses through this gate from their home. The natives I spoke of who are willing to come to our aid were instrumental in forming this connection, showing us how to sustain it as Rangers come and go. Rangers do what they can to keep the monsters on this hill or banish them back. In return, the town cares for the Rangers like they are our own flesh and blood. It is not an easy duty, but the town will do what it can to lessen your burden. I know. It is a lot to ask of you. You haven't been with us for long, but I hope you grow to understand how vital you are to our survival. If not for you, and those before you, our world would be plagued with much more than a few wayward creatures. Not all of them are bad, mind you. Some just get lost, turned around and need a nudge in the right direction. Others are more troublesome. Much like people, there can be a few bad apples in the bunch.
I don't think the creature stalking me is just a bad apple, Calysta.
No. Your stalker is rotten to the core. You'll have your hands full, no doubt about it. But you also have the full support of the town.
I nod, taking in her words. The trek back to the truck is a silent one. The moment we cross onto the road, my ears are assaulted with the sound of encroaching night. I stagger back, temporarily thrown off my access. Calysta chuckles, but otherwise says nothing. As we continue the descent down the mountain, I realize the gate is located halfway between my cabin and Thompson's cabin. The turn off is invisible unless you're looking for it. I must have passed it 1,000 times before today. Which makes sense. Rangers can't guard something unless it is close by. I have so many questions. Questions about the magic of this land, why the town has to stay here. But I tuck them away for another time to enjoy the companionable silence. The Moose Knuckle is packed tonight. Calysta and I glide through the crowd, people parting like a tide for us. A few wave or stop me to ask how I'm feeling. Others nod in deference in my direction as our eyes meet. Colette even refuses to take my money when I slide it across for my beer, claiming the first round is on the house. For the next 2 hours, I'm swallowed up by the town. For the first time in a long time, I feel at home. I play darts with Bradley and Walter, while Bradshaw tells me stories about him and Thompson. A few townsfolk wander closer, even dare to join our jovial group. By the time my headlights reflected against the closed curtains of my cabin, I was bubbling with warmth, both from countless loggers Bradley and Walter kept our group supplied with, and from the inclusion from the town. My feet climbed the steps, my mind turning over itself. I was a loner the majority of my life. The classic childhood tragic upbringing. Bounced between foster homes until I stuck the landing. For what it's worth, Elaine and Robert were caring foster parents. Yet, they didn't fill the hole left by my unknown lineage. It was too easy to cut ties with that stage of my life once I started working for different forestry jobs. Again, not because they committed untoward acts to me as a teen. By the time I was dropped on their doorstep, time was no longer on their side. I understood it now with implicit clarity why the Northern Rocky Mountain Provincial Park of Prophet River searched for rangers without strings. The stacks of employee records was proof of how dangerous this job was. But what if? What if there was another way? A way to avoid the cycle of sacrifice. It's clear when I applied, I was signing up to be the town's lamb. But since I'm delving into the world of mystical and unexplainable, what if there was magic to stop the cycle? Maybe even close the gate. I decided tomorrow, after my shift, I'd head back to Thompson's cabin to research my options. I opened my door, stepping inside. As I turn to close the door, my traction stops. My eyes lock with red orbs high in the tree line. We take each other in, sizing each other up. After a moment, I smile. Then I flip the fucker the bird and slam the door in its face. The next several days are uneventful. However, I know the clock has started. The Wendigo isn't going to wait for me forever, nor am I going to wait for it to decide to test its limitations. From what I've gathered from my research, fire is my best ward against the beast. Or a shot to the heart. I'm decent with a gun, but not to the level of shooting a moving, roaring target. Between my day duties, meetups in the town to discuss my plan with my motley crew, and my nightly research, I am exhausted. The weight of the town's safety weighs on me, but I refuse to let them down. I've read through hundreds of first-hand ranger accounts. I've also started my own journal, just in case. Hank has proven to be a valuable asset, to the point I've made him my temporary second, until I can hire a new one. The thought of tethering someone else to this fate threatens to smother me every time I think too hard on the matter. But I have to think about the town, especially when just yesterday, I was called to the scene of a massacred hiking couple. When I first arrived on the scene, my mind transported me back to Alexis. But not Alexis when she was alive. The Alexis that came after filled my boots with lead as I walked the trail to the awaiting officers. Some of the younger boys stood with their backs to the horror, verdant, sweat-riddled faces pinched in disgust and hatred. After a few feet, I understood why. Globs of human meat were scattered across the clearing. Brown, wavy hair trailed from tree branches, drawing my attention up. I wish I hadn't looked. A section of hair, still attached to a fragment of skull, clung to the low branch of the fir. Bile churned in my throat, but I contained it. Articles of clothes, dyed with their victims' blood, lay shredded across the clearing. The gruesome scene was a stark reminder of what was at stake. A reminder to not only guide, but protect the travelers taking in the beauty of these woods. They were my charge, and I will not fail them. I threw the journal and a few other items into a rucksack, then placed it by my front door. Nerves to the rafters, I double-checked the farmer's almanac for the 100th time. Just as the times before, 7:15 p.m., the sunset. The long summer days were starting in early, which was fine by me. I needed the extra time to get everything ready. With a quick sweep around the space to make sure I didn't forget anything, I head over to the door, flinging it open. Sweet air tickles my nose, the sound of early evening settling around the trees. I breathe it in, allowing the intoxicating scent of spruce, fir, and pine to ground me. Every good memory I have from childhood to adulthood comes from being surrounded by some form of forest. The serenity it provides me is beyond immeasurable. No matter the forest I step into, it always feels like home. As the last orange blip of light is snuffed out by the trees, I know it's time to protect my home. I shuck my arms through the straps of the rucksack, making sure they are nice and tight. Stealing my nerves, I move to the fireplace. The flames warm up my clothes as I take it in. To my surprise, my 8-legged friend scurries along the mantel, his little legs making zigzag etchings in the old ash lining the sill. Well, friend, I guess this is goodbye. Well, hopefully not forever. So don't go crazy making webs everywhere. The spider pauses, as if to reply, even though I know he won't. It would be just my luck, though, to find the world's only talking spider. Another second passes before the spider carries on his trek. And I, with my own mission. Sorry, Thompson, but sometimes rules are meant to be broken. My words collide with the flames as I dump water over the logs, snuffing them out. Time to get this party started. I'm out the door in seconds, not bothering to shut the door behind me. My keys are in my hand when the world around me silences. Damn! Fucker is fast. No sooner had the snide thought crossed my mind than I saw it. Not all of it, but enough to know I need to show some restraint. Glowing red eyes leer from the trees beyond, its body hidden in the darkening shadows. For a moment, we just stare at one another. Two opponents assessing their enemy for weakness. However, unlike the other night, I have no intention of running inside. Rule number 2. If I see something, it was my imagination. Well, running is still in the plans. I dash forward just as the Wendigo roars, With steady hands, my keys slide into the ignition of my borrowed ATV. The engine joins its voice with the scream of the beast as I kick my leg over and twist the throttle. The ATV bucks, but I keep it under control as I shoot into the forest. The Wendigo bellows, its pounding devil hooves eating up the distance between us. Trees blur past me as I weave around them, pushing the ATV as fast as I dare. I don't want it to catch me, but I still want to keep it in my sight. I race around an open patch and crank the wheel tightly, spinning myself 180 degrees. Rule number 3. Run and don't look back. The Wendigo bursts through the trees, terrifying eyes locking on me. I don't give in to my baser instincts to cower. My hand is steady as I draw the flare gun attached to my hip and fire right into the bastard's face. As far as shots go in the dark, my aim is nearly perfect. Thank fuck I took up Sheriff Bradshaw on those shooting lessons. The flare connects with the beast's exposed orbital bone, knocking its head back. It stumbles, roaring in furious pain, claws swiping blindly for a moment, hoping to connect with my skin. I don't give it a chance. I gun the ATV, pushing dangerous limits as I race to the second location. I yank the second gun from my other hip and fire into the air. The night illuminates, casting the forest into an eerie orange haze. I hope Hank is ready, because we're coming in hot. My tires kick up gravel as I take the sharp turn onto the road leading to the gate. With my luck, the Wendigo's recovery time will be short, and its anger at a boiling point. I grin to myself as the edge of the gate's trees swallow me. I turn in my seat, expecting to see the creature's red eyes and antlers charging after me. Only quiet darkness and the fading trail of dust follow me. My brows knit together with confusion. Where the fuck is it? Apparently, my question rang the dinner bell. The Wendigo explodes onto the path from my left, its deadly antlers aiming right for me. I curse, jerking the wheel hard to swerve out of its path. The torque of my movement makes the tires drift, and I know what's coming before I have time to brace properly. In a blink, the ATV flips, my body catapulting ass over end across the clearing. My body slams into the forest dirt, rolling into a heap right into the base of a spruce. Pain slices up my back, knocking the air from my lungs. My shoulder burns as the old injury flares anew. Dizzy, I push my limbs underneath me, knowing I don't have a moment to assess my injuries. Hooves pound against the earth, and I throw my body to the side just as antlers pierce the tree just at my back. I don't waste time gawking, scrambling back toward the gate. The Wendigo follows my movements. Wow, looks like my shot was an improvement on your face. Angry black striations expand outward like an exploding star around the eye socket my shot connected with. Not enough to cause real damage, but I bet it hurt like a motherfucker. The beast roars in my face, charging forward. My boots kick up dust as I run toward the gate. My lungs protest, but my adrenaline is working double time to suppress their screams. Hot, hell-tainted breath flutters my ponytail forward as the creature closes the distance. But I only need a few more feet. I cross the invisible line we set, hoping Hank is ready. Just as I reach the gate, I dive to the side, crossing my fingers that Plan A works. My body rebels as it slams into the ground. Adrenaline in the driver's seat as I spin to see if our plan worked. The Wendigo races towards the gate, its feet working overtime to stop from colliding with the portal back to its home. Unfortunately for me, stupid bastard is successful. Its black body hits the frame of the gate, the deformed trees shaking from the impact. Time for Plan B. Now, Hank! Before the beast has time to understand what is happening, fire blazes to life around us. It eats up the dirt, forming a closed ring with my new friend and I within its infernal cage. The Wendigo rears back, a roaring screech leaving its throat. A smile cracks across my lips as I do a silent dance at Hank and I's forethought. Got you, fucker. We weren't stupid enough to go into this without a plan and wanted to prepare for an up-close altercation. Together, we decided our failsafe was to trap the Wendigo by the best means I had. Fire. Heat pounds at my back and kisses the side of my face as the 30-foot arch of flames burn with gleeful malice. I'm thankful Hank was able to see my flare signal to get into position. Now, it's just me and the beast.
Harper, catch!
Hank's voice jars my focus, my eyes locking on my temporary second. About 20 yards away, Hank waves frantically from his safe distance. The whites of his eyes gleam with terror, but he holds his position. With a nod, he tosses the object in his hand over the flames. I snatch the shotgun out of the air, spinning in the same movement. Illuminated by the flames, the Wendigo is a gruesome sight to behold. Black fur runs in mangy patches along its torso and legs. Its clawed, dark hands twitch with a thirst for blood as its red eyes glare with obvious hate in my direction. Dried blood decorates its maw and a few tips of its antlers. A small piece of fabric clings to one of the bone protrusions, causing my eyes to narrow to slits. I recognize it as matching one of the fabrics found on the scene of the hiking massacre. The sight of the fabric spurs me into action. The first shot kicks against my injured shoulder, adding to my mountain of pain. I ignore it. This shit has gone on long enough. Shots tear into the silent forest, the dark magic eating the echoing rings. My first two shots connect, pushing the beast back toward the gate. The following two are wide, but my last hits its target. Bone cracks as my bullet drills into its sternum. But they must be denser than normal animal bones because it doesn't fully fracture. Fuck! I hurry and reload, thankful our plan had me stocking my cargo pants with bullets. A roar nearly makes me drop my bullet. The Wendigo already recovered from my hits. It charges forward. I realize I won't have enough time to fully reload. Too late, my feet are moving to dodge out of the way. The Wendigo's clawed hand swipes down, claws slashing my side and sending me across to the other side. I don't even feel the impact I make against the ground. Agony rides me to the ground, making me scream in pain. I can hear Hank calling my name as I roll to my back, my hand going to my side. I cry out, pulling my hand back. Blood drenches my hand from palm to tip. My heart hammers in my throat, Hank's voice fading as I reevaluate the situation. The world floats before my eyes like a slow action tilt-a-whirl. Too much blood loss. In rapid succession, I flutter my eyelids, fighting to keep my vision clear. I don't get long. The Wendigo is on me, antlers driving down to skewer my waiting flesh. I manage to duck and roll just as the antler comes down. The world doubles and blurs. The trees knock around my vision like bowling ball pins, making me sick. What the fuck was I thinking? I'm not a trained fighter. I'm not some mystical warrior who's trained for a millennia to defeat her foes. I am a ranger. The Wendigo rears back again, poised to strike.
Hey, Ugly, get the fuck off her!
Bullets jerk the Wendigo's body as Hank fires from the sidelines. With my adrenaline fading, my voice is inaudible as I plead with him to run, to get as far away as he can. The Wendigo turns, body rigid with wild fury. Its rage drives it to the edge of the fire. Caution be damned, because it has a new target in sight. Hank. For a fleeting moment, I lie in the dirt. Sure, my death is sealed.
Come on, you rancid overgrown carcass. Let's see what you're made of.
Hank lets out another barrage of bullets. So brave. So stupid. But maybe so am I. I can't let him shoulder this alone. I can't let the town go through another ranger. It has to end. The faces of the officers at the hiker's murder scene filter in my mind. Faces filled with fear and despair. How long have they cowered in their homes, praying they don't find their ranger dead? How many more travelers will come to these woods and wind up dead because of creatures they thought were only myth? I can't allow this to go on. My hand wraps around my fallen gun. I rise on shaking legs. I reach into my pocket, finding 3 bullets left. My arsenal must have scattered out of my pocket when I was thrown. Well, I guess I'm just going to have to make them count. With a flick of my wrist, I jam them through the mag port and lock the butt against my shoulder. My breathing is harsh. Each inhale tugs at my bleeding wound, draining me of both blood and energy. Hank is firing into the approaching danger. Not sure if it's luck or dumb coincidence, but Hank has managed to get the beast near the far edge of the fire circle. Not too close to the gate, but close enough for me to push it toward it. I take aim and fire in rapid succession. The night lights up, casting us in a weird moment of full light. The Wendigo's claws reach for Hank, no longer concerned about the flames. Hank's terrified expression. I can even see the rippling muscles of the Wendigo's back as it coils to strike. Then, I'm thrown off my feet for the 3rd time, my bullets hitting their target, the ATV's gas tank. The explosion sends a shockwave through the night, crashing into the Wendigo and hurling it toward the gate. I crash to the ground, the wind rushing from my lungs. The world is ringing, and for a second, I swear the trees are swaying overhead, branches frantically signaling for me to get up. Impossible, seeing as there's no wind. I roll, body seeking rest, but I deprive it. The last of my adrenaline pushes me to stand. Energy wanes from my limbs. I look into the smoke from the decimated ATV, searching for the Wendigo's large body. Finally, my eyes land on its quivering form. The blast placed it just a few paces from the gate. Hank! Are you out?
No. My belt's only half out.
Hank tosses me his belt. I manage to catch it, slinging it around my neck so the bullets sit close to my chest. Time to lock in. Hey! It's time for you to go home. The Wendigo rises on shaky hooves. Sections of fur are still smoking, its ruby eyes narrowing on my approach. I load 2 more bullets as I walk, the movement sending unrelenting waves of agony through my slashed side. My stride never breaks as blood soaks my jeans. I aim and fire. The beast grunts, the blast still affecting it. I take the advantage, my bullets unrelenting as I drive it back. Each shot pushes it closer to the gate. I'm almost down to my last bullet when a single hoof crosses the threshold of the gate. The humming I heard when Calysta first showed me the gate intensifies. A milky, translucent film ripples across the surface. Slowly, ropes of film protrude from the gate. They worm around the air for a brief moment, wiggling like antennae, tuning into their prey. Then, they strike. Almost too fast to track, the tendrils attach themselves to various points on the Wendigo. The beast thrashes, but it's no use against the foreign restraints. Emboldened by my victory, I step forward, making sure the beast is taken through the portal to whatever realm it belongs. My feet stop at a root just at the base of the gate as the head of the Wendigo begins to dip into the surface of the portal. The journals of past rangers come to mind. None mentioned anything about performing specific rituals to banish certain creatures. However, some stated they felt compelled to say something, regardless of not having a formal ceremony. In that moment, with the gate softly humming and the surrounding trees standing sentinel as witnesses, I felt something stir under my skin. Call it magic or blood loss. It felt like what needed to be done. Never return to this place. This world is ours, and I hereby banish you. The gate glows in answer, or maybe I imagined it. My head feels light, no doubt from all the blood loss. I turn ready to extinguish the fire and clean up when Hank shouts my name, but it's too late. My body doesn't fully turn in time to see the danger. God. Goddamn bastard just had to get in one more hit. A single antler horn pierces my upper abdomen. Blood explodes from my mouth, my ears ringing from the shock. I look down, touching the invasive horns reverently, wondering if they're just an illusion. However, the pain thundering through my synapses tells me otherwise. Hank screams my name over and over again, but I can't see him around the black dots coating my vision. I'm jerked upward, my feet leaving the ground as the Wendigo raises me up, finally claiming its trophy. The world begins to fall away as I'm pulled backward toward the gate. I can feel myself succumbing to my injuries. Was this always my fate? Was the town in these mountains always meant to have a revolving door of rangers? When will it end? I'm almost across the threshold when the fight returns to my bones. No, this ends with me. My hand flies out, desperation turning my fingers into scraping claws, trying to hook into any part of the gate. My body protests as I stretch, the antler making it near impossible to move. My skin tears, but I grind my bloody teeth against the sensation. Just as I begin to pass into the gate, my hand grasps a twisted small branch at the edge of the gate's frame. My body is jerked violently backward, the antler in my stomach jostling around, no doubt doing more damage. My hand threatens to give, my blood making it hard to hold on. But I do. With my blood and my soul, I bind myself to this gate. All those who seek passage shall find. None! May the magic in it die. May its access forever be sealed. Again, I don't know if the words are right, but something inside me tells me they need to be heard. The trees framing the gate glow as my fingers slip away, and I tumble through the darkness. Holy shit. Where am I? My head swivels like a drunk owl, while spots dance gleefully in my eyes. Everything hurts. Dark woods surround me. I should find comfort in the timber walling me in, but as my vision returns, I realize this is not my forest. The trees leer down at me, their branched knuckles scraping the vegetation at their feet. What is this place?
Holy fuck, no! What the fuck? No, stay back! Stay away from me!
My feet pinwheel, my boots failing to find traction as I try in vain to escape. I can't even comprehend what I'm escaping from. A large eyeball, the size of a softball, blinks a single pink iris at me. 8 ivory spindle bones protrude from its sides, allowing it to hover above the ground like a single-bodied spider. It chitters at me. From what mouth, I have no clue, nor do I want to find out, and scuttles towards my boots. Get away from me! My voice reverberates against the night, the trees shaking at the pitch.
Welcome to the Morbid Forest, Ranger Harper.
This has been a Morbid Forest production, and on this season's finale you heard Origins, written by Naomi Richards, with narration by Naomi Richards as Ranger Harper, Ron Hyatt as Ranger Thompson, Kiefer Light as Officer Hank Hanover, David Kurze as Sheriff Bradshaw and Larry, Sean Conkling-Methot as Bradley, Kyle Bone as Walter, and Jessica Hart as Calysta Fredrick. Story editing and audio production by Naomi Richards. Our episode art was created by Dan Aragon. Our theme music was created by Blakmoth. Music and sound effects provided by Epidemic Sound and Pixabay. No AI was used on any portion of this audio production. Follow us on X, or Twitter if you're old school, Instagram, Threads, Blue Skies, and Discord to stay up to date on all the happenings within the forest. Interested in more morsels of the forest? Then join our Patreon. As a faithful traveler, you'll receive exclusive access to early episode releases, access to all bonus content, and deals on merch for only $3 a month. That's patreon.com/The Morbid Forest. Can you spare a moment to help other travelers in need? For just 1 review or 5 stars, you can help a fellow traveler in desperate need of a horror podcast. Ratings and reviews are the best ways to find lost travelers out there. So head to your favorite podcast platform today to assist a fellow traveler in finding their path to the Morbid Forest. We hope that you enjoyed this season's finale, travelers, and we can't wait to get cooking on the next season. With that, we'll see you next time, travelers, on the Morbid Forest.